Okay, Barb, we don't have a whole lot to do on this, but I'll go over a little bit about the scanning software because I happen to have the same software on my home computer. So I put a couple of pictures on my scanner, and then HP Solution Center is what I'm opening up. Now my settings are a little different than yours, but I'll kind of go through it and hopefully it'll make sense. If you get any kind of funny screens, you can just click on home. Hopefully this kind of looks like yours. It may be a slightly different version. But I also have the option to scan a picture and scan a document. And all these really are shortcut buttons that are set up through settings to have certain defaults. So if I went to scan, well, if I go to settings down here, and scan settings, scan document settings. Actually, these are both set to send pictures to. Oh no, scan documents. So my document setting is set to go document to a PDF file, and my picture is sent to go right to a file. Now yours, I think, goes to PhotoSmart Essential, which either way is fine. Mine doesn't open that Photoshop Essential thing that yours does, because mine goes right to a file. I'm going to change it and see if I can make it look more like yours. Alright, so let's see what happens. I'll click OK. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the home button and go to scan picture, and this I think looks like yours does, and it'll take a second to see what I've got there. Come on, scanner. Okay, this is taking a little while. It may take a minute when it first sets up the scanner. I don't know if you can hear the fire engines in the background. It's the middle of the day on July 4th, and there's a parade outside my window. Fire engines. Okay, I can hear the scanner grunting, so it's probably, there it goes. Okay. Alright, so that's a really old picture of David, my son, when he was little. I had him in an ad for his music school. And there's a picture of one of my old dogs. Turn around. Right. Okay. Sorry this is taking so long. Okay, so now hopefully the scanner is going to recognize that it's two pictures there. Yep, see how it does? It recognized that there were two pictures. It recognized this one easily. And this one now I can adjust it because I don't want the rest of this newspaper stuff. So all I have to do is pull that guy down and around. And you can resize it. If I just wanted like the picture of him playing the violin, you know, I could zoom it in. So you can kind of crop your picture right there before it actually gets scanned. And you can remember we rotated some, but because I've got two of them on this flatbed here, I'm not going to do that. But if you were just scanning one, there's some adjustments that you could make. And if for some reason this this guy didn't show up, you can always click this crop button, and then it would show up, and you could crop it, because sometimes it thinks it's going to scan the whole. You know, if you put in like a whole book page, it may not show up, and you might want to scan just like a picture on a page. So if you get just a whole page in there, and there's something you want to, you know, isolate and crop down to, you click on this button, and it'll help you do that. And then, okay, this was a add delete. Okay, this would be if you had a second picture and for some reason it didn't pick up on the second picture. This will give you a second set of these buttons for you to slide around, and that should help. Okay, all right. So here it's got those two. I'm going to click finish. And we'll see if it's going to pop it up in those PhotoSmart. Yeah, it says PhotoSmart Essential, so it should pop it up in that same kind of software that you have. Yep, this is the message we got on your machine. So you could, if you had like a whole shoebox full of pictures, you could just take these off the scanner, put more pictures on, and then click scan again. And it would just keep adding more before you get to the part where you're going to save them or name them or whatever you need to do. So it's up to you. Let's say we only have these two, so I'm going to say done. And it should pop up in that PhotoSmart Essentials software that we looked at. Come on, where is it? Oh look, it's not working for me. Alright, okay, so I'm going to close that piece because that didn't work for me. In yours it came up and you saw the picture in there, and there are other edits you could make, and it's really just HP's way to keep pictures, but you really don't need it, and we could set yours so that it doesn't open there if you want, because really where you're going to go to find your pictures once they're scanned is they're in your My Scans. So you go to, and if you scanned a picture, you go to Pictures, and then you look for My Scans, and here's the picture I just scanned. And in Windows, I can just fix this right here. I can just rotate it, and then when I actually want to move on, it'll save it that way. Oh, that's another lovely picture. Okay, that's not the one I just scanned though. So here's the one I just scanned. This is one of the ones I just scanned. Didn't come out so well. And then this one is the other one. So you can just rename them here. If you right click and go to rename, I can just rename that and say Yappy Dog, because that was the dog's name, Yappy Dog. Okay, and so I can rename the image there. I can also, if I want to, let's see, pull this up. And in Windows, you can do this too. If you want to, you can add a tag here. So I can add a tag that says Yappy, because that was the dog's name. And I could also add another tag that said Christmas. And so if I was looking through all my pictures at some point, if I wanted to sort, hell, let's click away from it. I could search here and I could say Yappy, and it would show me the picture of Yappy. So if you had a million pictures, that would make a difference. When you only have 4, it's not a big deal. But you can do that in Windows if you want to. So let's see what else. I think that's it for the scanner part. All right, then we talked about, how do you select the multiple select. I know we've gone over this before, but we can go over it again. Let me go back to, how do I get out of this again? Go back to pictures. Okay, I'll go back to my pictures. And all I'm doing with this panel at the bottom is I'm just sliding it back down. Okay, I'm going to make this a whole screen. Now you remember that you can see them this way. Remember this guy? Yeah, you got pretty good at this. Extra large icons, really big. Or details. Now if you need to search through something, details is your best bet, because then you can sort it by date. And these guys actually can pull these out, pull these apart, so you can see more of the name if you want to. But that doesn't let you see the picture. So I'm going to go back to small icons. I kind of like those. Small. Oh wait, no, let's go back to something else a little bigger. Medium icons. Okay, that's kind of good. You can kind of see the pictures a little bit that way. All right, so if you were going to select a whole bunch of pictures that you needed to copy or move, you could select all of them on the page by just holding down the Control key and clicking the letter A. Well, you have to click on something first. Click on one of them and then hold down Control and click the letter A, and you can see they all get selected. And then if you wanted to move those somewhere else, you could, if you go to drag them, see it's going to drag them. See where it says 909? There's 909 pictures in there that I would move somewhere if I did it that way. I can click away to undo that. If I wanted to select just a couple of them and they were all over in different places, I would click on the first one, just one click, then hold down the Control key, and then click anywhere else I wanted to, and then when I lift up the Control key, they're still selected, and then I can drag and see how the number says 4. There's 4 pictures that I could move and do anything I wanted with. All right, so I'm going to say cancel on that one. And if you wanted to have like adjacent pictures, you could start with this one and then say I wanted this row up to this picture. If they were next to each other, you hold down the Shift key, click the last one, and all the ones in the middle will be selected. So that's another way to select. And then of course we talked about the swoop method. Wait, let me click away from there. I got so much stuff in here. And the swoop method, usually I start in the lower right and just press my mouse and then swoop up. And then, of course, with this many pictures, it's kind of silly. But the swoop method, you just have to practice with it till you get it. And because there's a lot of different ways to select, all the different stuff that's in there. We pretty much, that's kind of it, I think, for what we did. We put your photo on LinkedIn. I don't think you had a problem with that. That was just a matter of navigating to it and getting it up there. And next time we're going to work on Snapfish. So this was a really short video, but hopefully it'll be enough to